Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my show. All right, my name is Miss V, MZVEE. How y'all doing? I make candles, right? I make candles. Now, I know you can't smell it through here, but it's smelling really nice in here right now. This candle, the scent is called Black Ice. What it reminds me of are those, when you get inside the gypsy cabs, for those of y'all that live in the hood, the gypsy cabs usually have those black trees that they hang in their mirror, and sometimes they have the little bottles of it, but the scent is called Black Ice. It smells really good when you get in that cab and you feel all nice and welcome. And unless the cab driver's an asshole, you have a really nice trip in that scent. It just reminds me of that. It smells like that, but this one I think is more pronounced. It's a fruity scent. You know, the one that I'm talking about anyway. It's a fruity scent. It's really nice. I like it a lot. So, if you would like to get a list of all my scents, I have a bunch of them, and I try to describe each one of them the way that the place where I purchased my oils describe them, and also what I think they smell like. I kind of break it down a little bit better in layman's terms, because sometimes the way that they describe it, they're naming a bunch of stuff where you're like, what? So I can kind of break it down and just tell you, listen, this is what it smells like. So if you would like that catalog, write me at mzveez2014 at gmail. I also have an Instagram page, mzveez2014. This is my logo. You will see it if you look for me on Instagram. And I also have a Facebook page. Same thing, MZVEE. On Facebook, it's missing the 2014. It's just Miss V's. All right. So, Hourglass. This is where I will be drinking my wine. Every time I do this, I'm going to be drinking wine. The favorite wine, though, this right here, Hourglass. Look at this glass. All right. When I opened up my Miss V's page, these guys started following me, and I guess it was because I use glassware because of the jars. That one that you saw right here, this is a 4-ounce jar that I sell. These are $8 each, or 3 for $20. You can see the size of it is 4 ounces. I also have 8 ounces, which is basically double that. Those are $10 each. All right. But yeah, I started following them. So yeah, this right here, this is fire. This is fire. This is fire. I love it. I love the way it feels in my hand. I could go on and on about this, but I'm not going to. I probably will mention it again because it's that fire. I've been using that glass for just about a year now. I love it. I love it. Love it. I suggest you go to their page, Auraglass, Auraglass. They're on Instagram. All right. If you want to go to their website, of course, www.auraglass.com. Yellowtail Chardonnay. Now listen, my go-to wine, Yellowtail Chardonnay. I love it. I love Yellowtail Chardonnay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pour some more. So don't judge me. Again, I love to drink wine. For anybody that knows me, they know I love to drink wine. They know I love to drink a couple of things. But this right here is my go-to wine. So that's accompanying me here right now. You will always see it every time I decide to post something. You're going to see this right here, and it's always going to be Yellowtail Chardonnay, unless I run across another wine that just catches me like that. But I've been drinking Yellowtail Chardonnay. Wow, we just turned into 2014. This is March, so 2018. Sorry, got Miss V stuck on her brain. 2018. I've been drinking Yellowtail Chardonnay. I would have to say, and this is kind of crazy because that's not the intention, but at least since 2014. So yeah, about 4 years now. That's like the one that I stuck to. I used to drink Yellowtail Moscato. My daughter drinks that one. But yeah, so this is a Yellowtail household. So just wanted to mention that. But anyway, I'm doing a book review today, people. Now, I'm trying not to move around too much because I'm sitting on in a spot where, I don't want my situation here to fall and collapse. So you won't see me moving around a whole lot the way I want to. Like I said, I'm trying to get a different setup here so I won't have to be so precarious. But anyway, I'm doing a book review today. All right. Now, the first I have to explain my journey with reading. I started reading when I was very, 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 very young. I can go back to the exact time, not time like as in time on a clock, but I remember I was very, very young. My mom was a teacher. They used to have teacher administrative days, I think is what they call them now. I don't remember what they used to call them back in the days, but I was very, very, very young. So it was one of those days. I don't remember if it was a half day or if the whole day was out, but teachers and paraprofessionals had to go in. My mom was an assistant teacher. She used to work in a classroom with Mr. Schwartz. Shout out to Mr. Schwartz. How you doing? I hope you're okay. Kenneth Schwartz. I remember you. Wow. My mom worked with this man for years. But anyway, it was an administrative day. She took me to the library in the school. Now, it wasn't an unfamiliar place. She just took me there because she had some stuff in the classroom she had to do, so she wanted me out of the way. Not, you know what I mean. Come on. Anyway. But, she took me to the library. I remember the librarian. I'm not going to get into it now, but I can go into a story about her. But anyway, what I will say is white knee-high boots. Remember, this was, well, no, not remember. This was back, I think it was like no, it wasn't even 1970 yet, I don't think. All right, I was born in 1964 for those of you who care. But anyway, I remember back then, she was asking me what kind of books I like to read. And I was like, I don't know. Because, up to that point, my mom was reading books to me. I wasn't really reading them on my own. I don't remember. I probably was because my mom was a teacher. And I remember reading was one of the main things that she really, excuse me, like I said, I'm on a precarious thing here. But that was one of the things my mom really wanted for my sister and myself and my older siblings. Learn how to read and get your education. So, the librarian, God, I wish I could remember her name. She ended up passing away. Yeah, that was a story. I'll talk about that another time. But, she was trying to figure out what kind of stuff I like to read. So yeah, it was about 1970 because I remember the book. It was about Eleanor Roosevelt. She led me to the biographies. This book was about Eleanor Roosevelt. And I read that she was like, how about this? She was different things. And I'm like, nah. I don't know what it was about that book that I wanted, that I found it interesting. It must have been in the cover, or maybe, I don't know what she said about it. All I know is that I went home with that book, or I started reading it there, and then I went home with that book. I finished that book so fast, and for some reason, it stuck with me, and I loved reading about her life. So anyway, all of that was to explain to you how I got into books, and I love autobiographies. I love biographies, especially autobiographies, because autobiography, this is from the horse's mouth. You're talking about your life. This is the stuff that you did. This is the stuff that you went through. So that's how I ended up with Gabrielle Union. This book is really, really, really good. It's called We're Gonna Need More Wine. This book is so, all right. So anyway, like I said, this actress was someone that every time she had a role, it was something I was trying to imagine her as a real person, and it seemed like all the roles that she had kind of, and it's not that all of the roles were the same, it's because of her presence. To me, they seemed like they were the same. And I don't want that to come across as messed up, because that's not the way that I mean it to be. Because I like her a lot. Like I said, I loved, the stuff that I used to see her in. I just was like, I wonder what she's like in person. Is she like these kind of, snooty-ish kind of people? But, after I saw her on this show, Hot Wings, this show Hot Wings, at Sean Evans, Seanevans, it's called In First We Feast. I believe it's the blanket company over the whole thing, but the show is called Hot Ones. And Sean Evans interviews his guests. You could be promoting something, maybe it's just someone that he finds interesting. And he asks you questions, and as you go through the series of questions, each hot wing that you're eating, the sauce gets hotter, and he has information about the sauces. It's a really interesting show. If you like to eat like me, if you're just interested in that kind of thing, and like I said, I love autobiographies. I like hearing people talk about their different experiences and stuff like that, because I know I have some stories. So I figure everybody out there's got to have some stories. Everybody's autobiography has got to be fucking slamming. Seriously. Because everybody's stories are different, and everybody's gone through some serious stuff. And I can't imagine anybody that's had a boring life. So she was promoting her book. I had heard that she wrote a book. And this is not her first one. I didn't read the first one, but because, like I said, back, when she wrote this first one, I don't even think I remember it being talked about as much as this one. But when this one came out, I was hearing about it. Oh my God, I'm smelling my candles. Excuse me. So I remember the hearing about it. It was being advertised. She was, on different shows and stuff like that. Excuse me, as I sip. And you guys, please feel welcome to join me when you see me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. So yeah, when she was advertising this book, she was on Hot Ones. So on Hot Ones, this is not one of those, like, it's not like your Today Show or Good Morning America. You can get on there and you could curse, and you could just be yourself. Kevin Hart has done this show. He's done different musicians, comedians, actors. He's done a lot of stuff. Sean Evans in First We Feast, Hot Ones. Look for it on YouTube. Yeah, look for it, okay? Because it's a really good show. But anyway, I saw her on there, and she blew my mind because she was just so down to earth. And I was like, I could hang with this bitch right here. This right here. And then when we're going to need more wine, I was like, I could see me, her, couple of chicks just sitting around chilling barefoot in some motherfucking jeans and just sipping some wine. Mine is going to be in my Aura glass. Holla. And talking about stuff. What it is, this is a book of stories, right? She tells stories about when she was in high school. She tells stories about growing up in California. She tells stories about how she basically witnessed her parents' marriage not basically implode, but it, basically just dematerialized in front of her eyes, in front of her mom's eyes. She talks about her mom's story about, and she mentions the different instances where she used to question things, and but her mom, like, kind of didn't see it. It's a lot of stuff that's really heady, but she tells it in such a way that it's relatable and it's so easy to read. I really recommend this book. I think you guys should get it. One of the stories she talks about is when she was in high school, she used to date Jason Kidd. At the time that she met him, she didn't know that he had a girlfriend. So he had a girlfriend that was like his longtime girl. And for whatever reason, he reached out to Gabrielle Union. They went to school together, so he was like, hey, let me holler at her too. What Gabby didn't know is that he had, well, they used to call her Nikki back then. What Nikki didn't know is that he had a girlfriend, and so the person that this story was about this chick named Quishan. And Quishan was Jason Kidd's girlfriend's best friend. And Quishan is so funny because the way that I was reading about Quishan, there's these chicks that I kind of call them refrigerators. I'm not going to mention names because I don't have to, but there's these chicks that most of the time I see them, they seem like they real angry, they mad at somebody, but they're really big, and they kind of like, yeah, they're angry because it's like they're tense, but they're kind of like this, and they're like mean and so I call them refrigerator chicks. Anyway, that's who Quishan remind me of. She remind me of a refrigerator chick, one of these chicks. But anyway, the stories that she was telling about this chick is that she would just pop up. After it was discovered that Jason was playing Angela dirty with Gabrielle Union, for some reason, Gabrielle Union became the bad guy. But anyway, Quishan really took heart to it, and this was, like I said, the best friend of the girl, and she used to just pop up. So every time she used to pop up, Gabrielle Union used to run until she ended up having to fight this girl. But you guys need to read this book, right? It's really, really good. She, like I said, she has a lot of different stories. She talks about how when she got married, the guy's name was Chris. He was an athlete until they got married. At some point, all of a sudden, he wasn't an athlete anymore. He was trying to become a businessman. She had, just gotten some not breakout roles, but she had just started in acting. She was getting some roles, making some money. So he decided, I'll use her money and I'll become a businessman. So, he wanted to open up this business, and that never happened. But it was just like, reading it to me is painful because I'm one of those people where I learn from my mistakes, and I hate watching people make mistakes, and I especially hate reading about people make mistakes because it's just painful to read through. Even though at the end you're praying, and she did end up getting it at the end. Even though you pray that they get it, it's just, for me, it's just painful to read. So that was painful to read, but the shit was real. It was real. It's a lot of stuff that if you're a young woman, read this book. There was a lot of situations where I was like, yup, because it was stuff that I could identify with. Another thing that I found really interesting about this book is the name of her titles, and this is just one of them. Okay? Get out of my pussy. Yes. And like I said, this is one of those books where she named it appropriately. It's called We're Gonna Need More Wine. Get out of my pussy. It can't just see yourself sitting around talking with your girls and y'all are talking about all the penises that you've had in your life. That's something else that she mentions in this book. She's one of those people where she's not judgmental, and she's like, listen, people expect for women to just have one penis their whole life. That's not what life is about. Why should we only have one penis in our life? Get as many freaking penises and dicks that you can. Be safe about it. Hey, listen, I ain't mad at you. I've had some penises and dicks in my life, and I ain't mad. I've had some... Okay, anyway. That's why you need to tune in, because I have to catch myself, and sometimes I may not catch myself. But anyway, guys, that's my book review. Thank you for tuning in. Ms. Vee'z, like I said, this is something I want to do on a regular, guys. I hope that you join me. Hit that subscribe channel. Ding that bell. This was my book review about Gabrielle Union. We're going to need more wine. Gabrielle, I've been wanting you to sign this book. Girl, look, it's just bare. It's empty. I didn't even write my name in it like I used to do when I was a kid. I used to write my name in every book that my hands ever ran across. I haven't even written my name in here, but honey, you need to come and sign this book. I would love that. Look, look, guys. See this right here? Look, a ring stain from a glass. Right? I love it. This is really, really good. It's really clever. The stories are awesome. Get this book. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in. Hey. Tune in for the next one. I'll holler when I'm ready. All right, guys? Bye.